Hello everyone, my name's Kacey and I'm leading you through your flow practice today. I have the lovely Shana here to demonstrate, and this class is all focused around rise, shine and flow. So we're going to get your body moving and your mindset on track to set you up for the rest of your day. So I'll get you started down on your backs with soles of the feet together, knees out to the side for your Supta Baddha Konasana. Bring both hands to your belly, close your eyes, and start to deepen your breath. Now, if you are practicing this class at the start of your day, and this is a chance to just tune in with the body and the breath to see how you're feeling after slumber. And with your eyes closed, just start to now see where you're holding on to some resistance in your body. Maybe your back is feeling tight. Maybe you're holding on to tension through your jaw, neck. Maybe your hips are feeling tight. So just starting to come to that awareness, never any judgment. And then connect with your breath, and with every inhale, try to send your breath to that area of tightness and resistance. And with your exhale, can you start to let some of that tension go? And as you focus on those pockets of resistance in the body and your breath, really start to notice if you're holding on to the breath at the top of your chest, or are you coming into that deep, expansive breath cycle? So trying to make your hands rise and fall with your breath. And taking that long, deep breath cycle throughout the rest of your practice. Starting to bring your hands on the outside of your thighs and gently bring your knees in towards each other and hug your knees in towards your chest. Maybe a little rock from side to side along your lower back, sacrum. Then open out into your happy baby pose. So knees nice and wide, trying to reach for your feet, otherwise your ankles or shins, and keeping your elbows on the inside of the knees. And just trying to keep your spine grounded down towards the earth. And that even means trying to ground your tailbone down towards the earth rather than tucking the hips under. Opening out around your pelvis. Maybe there's a little movement here or stillness, whatever your body's craving. So just starting to explore a gentle inversion, and inversions are wonderful at helping our circulation. So keeping the feet up high, allowing the blood to flow back down towards your vital organs, and to also give your legs a little break from carrying you around. Take one more deep breath here. And then you're going to extend your legs towards the sky and bring your feet together. So you're creating an L shape. So similar to Viparita Karani when you have legs up the wall, only we're doing this freestanding. And if you need a little more support, you can always tuck a block or your hands underneath your hips. You can even keep the knees bent if you need to, but otherwise legs straight up towards the sky and peel your toes back towards you. Once again, just a gentle inversion. Starting to focus on your circulation, maybe gentle engagement through the core to help keep your legs where they are. Take 3 more deep breaths here. The end of that third breath, perhaps now sliding your hands underneath your hips to give you a little more support. Keep your left leg straight up towards the sky and start to bring your right leg down towards the earth until your heel is hovering just above the mat. And then switching the legs over. So work with your breath now. So as the right leg comes up, the left leg comes down. So you're creating that scissor type movement with your legs. So just starting to now flow from side to side with your breath as you gently start to activate the core. Keep the breath circulating. And then once you've evened up on both sides, you're bringing your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself another hug, little rock from side to side. Then bring your arms out either side of your mat and just coming into a gentle twist as you bring your both knees over towards the right, but keep your knees hovering just above your mat. Inhale back through center and knees over towards the left until they're hovering just above the ground. And once again, moving with your breath. You're bringing your inhale, knees back to center, and your exhale, you'll come into your twist. So that gentle activation through the core as you twist, opening out along your spine. One more each side. And once you've evened up on both sides, hug your knees back in towards your chest. You have the option of rock and rolling up to seated or rolling over onto one side and pressing yourself up to a cross-legged seated position. And then bring your left hand down on the ground next to your hip and bring your right arm up and over into a side stretch. Beautiful. Inhale back through center and flow over to the other side. So now starting to find that lateral stretch and movement opening up through your side body. Feeling that connection of movement with breath. Just keeping your bicep right up in line with the ear. So rather than a twisting movement now, we are coming into that side stretch. And one more each side. And once you've evened up, come back to your seated position. Interlace your hands behind you, squeeze your shoulder blades in towards each other. Shine the heart towards the sky. And start to peel your hands away from your lower back. You can stay upright or you can start to hinge forward, bringing your chest down towards your legs as your arms start to reach towards the sky. Allow your head and your neck to be soft here. Then release the hands and extend them long onto the ground in front of you. So you're coming back into that forward fold, but now allowing your torso to come down closer towards your legs. So if you're feeling a little tight through your hips, this might start to open out through the back of the pelvis. Every exhale to find a little more softness. Now you have the option of rolling over your knees into tabletop, hands and knees, or come over onto one side if that doesn't feel good through your knees. So we'll all meet in tabletop, stacking your wrists underneath your shoulders and your knees underneath your hips. And just start to come into your cat and cow now. So as you inhale, dip the belly, look up towards the sky, roll the shoulders back. Exhale to round through your upper back, tuck the chin and tailbone under. So you're working once again with your breath cycle, feeling that connection of movement with breath. Starting to find your rhythm. Enjoying the space that's appearing along your spine, but also through your chest and heart space. Roll the shoulders back on you, inhale. Exhale, release in between your shoulder blades, round. Now you're more than welcome to stay with this linear movement if it feels good in your body, but if you want to explore any sideways movements, barrel rolls, maybe shifting the weight further forward or back, just once again, tapping into those sticky spots. Where are you holding on to resistance today? It might mean moving your fingertips out to the side or fingertips turned back towards you as you open up through your wrists and your forearms. Perhaps shifting your hips further forward and back. You can close your eyes here and just really start to feel where you need to move into. Where's your breath? Still allowing that expansive breath cycle to move throughout the body, connecting your movement with that breath. One more breath cycle. And then you're coming back to your neutral spinal alignment. Tuck your toes under for downward facing dog. Now feel free to walk your dog out, pedaling one heel down at a time. Starting to open out through the back of your legs. Wake up your Achilles and your calf muscles. Keep rolling your shoulders away from your ears. And then pausing in your down dog. So you're gently melting your heels down towards the ground as you lift your tailbone towards the sky. Now, please feel free to keep a bend through your knees if that allows you to find that long neutral spinal alignment. Now, from here, we're going to work through our rolling dog. So start to come up onto the tippy toes as you round through your upper back and articulate through the spine to your high plank. Then bend through your knees, shift the hips back to your down dog. So trying to find that smooth transition. So inhale to round forward, high plank. Exhale, bend through the knees, shift the hips back. 3 more, just like that. Inhale to round and roll forward. Exhale to bend the knees and shift the hips back to down dog. Beautiful. Work with your breath. Last one. Meeting back in downward facing dog. Beautiful. Come up onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees and start to walk or float the feet up to meet the hands. Toe heel your feet out to hip distance and hang in ragdoll for a few moments. So if you're feeling tightness along your spine, you might need to bend your knees. Now you can keep your fingertips on the ground. You can reach for opposite elbows or even bring your elbows on top of your knees if you need more support. But allow your head and neck to be soft and heavy here and allow gravity to find space along your spine. Maybe there's movement, a gentle sway from side to side. Perhaps you're craving stillness and you can pause in center. And bring your fingertips down onto the ground. Toe heel your feet in together to touch. Rounding all the way up to standing, one vertebrae at a time, palms touch overhead. Bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment here, grounding down through the soles of your feet, lifting up through the crown of your head, roll your shoulders down and back. Neutral spine, engage your quadriceps, lift your kneecaps. So this is your active standing pose. Mountain pose, hands at heart center. And as you inhale, lift your hands towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale, swan dive forward, bend the knees as much as you need to. Inhale to lift halfway, fingertips to the shins or the ground. Then fold forward, let it go. We're coming back to standing, hands towards the sky, palms touch. Finishing your half sun salutation, hands to heart center. Let's keep flowing through that movement. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale to swan dive. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to stand, palms touch. Hands to heart center. Beautiful. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale to fold. Inhale to lift. Exhale, let it go. Inhale to stand, palms touch. Hands to heart center. Inhale, hands to the sky. Exhale to swan dive forward. Lift and lengthen as you inhale. This time stepping back into your high plank. Shift the weight into your tippy toes and bring your knees down onto the ground. Keep the core strong as your elbows graze the rib cage, come all the way down towards the earth. Inhale to baby cobra. Use your back strength to lift your chest off the ground. Then bring your chin back down towards the mat. Bring your hands out wide. Stay on your fingertips and come into more of a rolling cobra. So now lifting up through the back of the heart as you roll up, and then exhale, lead with the heart as you come back down. Inhale to roll, leading with the back of the chest. Exhale. Inhale to roll up. Then start to dip your right shoulder down towards the earth. Come back through center and dip your left shoulder down towards the earth. Beautiful. Moving from side to side with your breath, opening out through your shoulders, chest, gentle twist. Connecting movement with breath. And once you've evened up on both sides, you'll come back through center. Bring your chest back down towards the earth. Bring your hands back underneath your shoulders. Come back through the knees to your extended child's pose. Pause here for a moment, sinking hips down towards heels. Now you can revisit this pose at any stage during class. It's the perfect place to take a moment, reconnect with your breath, and to rejoin whenever you're ready. Then tuck your toes under, hips to the sky. Come back to your downward facing dog. Come up onto the balls of your feet. Bend through your knees, step or float the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, fold it forward. Inhale to come all the way to stand, palms touch, mini back bend if that feels good. Bring your hands to heart center, standing tall and proud. Take a deep breath in. Let it go. Inhale, hands to the sky, reaching up. Exhale to swan dive forward. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, step or float the feet back. Shift the weight into your tippy toes, knees on or off the ground, chaturanga arm bend. Inhale, upward facing dog if you're ready, otherwise cobra is your modification, meeting back in downward facing dog. Then come up onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, step or float the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale to come to standing, palms touch, mini back bend is there, hands to heart center. Let's keep flowing. Inhale, hands to the sky. Fold it forward. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale, step or float the feet back. Knees on or off the ground, bend the elbows to 90 degrees. Inhale into your back bend of choice. We're meeting back in downward facing dog. Come up onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, step or float the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold. Beautiful. Inhale to stand, palms touch. Hands to heart center. Inhale, hands to the sky. Fold it forward. Working through your flow. If you need a break, downward facing dog, otherwise vinyasa. Elbows graze the ribcage. Your exhale brings you back to down dog. And then from your down dog, as you inhale, right leg towards the sky. And bring your right knee to your nose as you shift the weight into the hands. Push back into three-legged dog. Right foot silently in between the hands. Use your core to bring it through, runner's lunge. Now spend a few moments here. Maybe there's some movement from side to side or forward or back. Are you holding on to some resistance through the hip flexor, through the back of the hip? So start to explore this a little. And then settle into your runner's lunge. If you need to modify, back knee can be on the ground. Otherwise, keep the back knee lifted and fire up through the left hamstring. And then from here, we're going to come into a twist by leaving the left hand on the ground, right hand to the hip or towards the sky if your shoulders are stacked. Breathe through the twist in the belly. Open up along your spine. You have the option of bringing your right hand a little further behind you to spin the heart towards the sky and really open out through the front of your right shoulder. Beautiful. Bring your right hand down. Step back into high plank. Optional vinyasa flow is there if you'd like to take it. From downward facing dog, as you inhale, left leg towards the sky. Bring your left knee to your nose, hug it in tight. Push back, three-legged dog. Left foot silently in between the hands, runner's lunge. And just explore your runner's lunge here. So making sure that your front ankle is directly underneath your front knee. You're staying on the ball of the back foot. Modification, back knee is on the ground. Maybe a little side to side motion or forward and back. Starting to just open out a little more through the hips. And settle back into your runner's lunge. Right hand is staying on the ground, left hand to the hip or towards the sky as you twist. So your twist is coming right from the base of the spine, lower, middle, upper back. Left arm, final continuation. Maybe you're now starting to spin the heart space towards the sky a little more as you draw the left hand directly behind you and open out through the front of your left shoulder. Left hand comes down. Optional vinyasa flow is there if you'd like to take it. Otherwise, down dog or child's pose are always available. And then from your downward facing dog, as you inhale, right leg towards the sky. Then bring your right knee to your nose, hug it in tight. Push back into three-legged dog. Right foot in between the hands, come back to your runner's lunge. Now from here, you're coming back to your twist. Left hand is staying on the ground, right hand to the hip or towards the sky. Now from your runner's lunge, you're going to keep the twist and rise up into a twisted lunge. So right arm behind you, left arm directly out in front. Keep your drishti, your focus on one point, and remember your feet are on train tracks, not a tightrope. That will help you with your balance as well. Option to flip and reverse. Left hand towards the sky, right hand trails the back leg. Lift up as you reach back. And then windmill your arms to the ground. Optional vinyasa flow. Lift a leg if you'd like to, drop the knees if you need to. Choose a variation that feels good in your body, or you can always skip the vinyasa and pause in down dog or rest in child's pose. From your downward facing dog, as you inhale, left leg towards the sky. Then bring your left knee to your nose, hug it in tight. Push back into three-legged dog. Left foot silently in between the hands, runner's lunge. Adjust the front foot if you need to. And then we twist. Left hand to the hip or towards sky. Once you have stability, your next inhale will bring you up to your high twisted lunge. So left hand back, right hand forward. Keep your focus on one point. Option to flip and reverse, bringing left hand down, right hand up and over. Open out through the right side body. Windmill your arms to the ground. Optional flow is there if you'd like to take it, or rest. If you're taking your flow, elbows are grazing the rib cage as your shoulders come forward for your chaturanga. We all meet back in downward facing dog. From your down dog, as you inhale, right leg towards the sky. Then bring your right knee to your nose, hug it in tight. Push back, three-legged dog. Right foot in between the hands. Find your runner's lunge. You've been here before now. Come into your twist. Left hand stays on the ground, right hand to the hip or towards the sky. Find your foundation and then inhale, rise up. Keep the twist. And then flip and reverse. Left hand up and over, right hand trails the back leg. Then keep rotating your left arm behind you to open out into warrior two. So now your left heel is anchored and you've opened up towards the other side of the room, gazes over your right hand. Beautiful. Flip and reverse your warrior. Left hand trails the back leg as your right hand reaches up and back. So even though you're opening through the right side body, can you make sure you're not collapsing through the left side here? And then windmill your arms to the ground. Optional vinyasa flow to rinse it out. Otherwise, down dog or child's pose. Modifications always welcome. If you're leading your chaturanga with your belly first, that's usually a good indication to bring your knees down onto the ground to help build that strength in the right alignment. From your downward facing dog, as you inhale, left leg towards the sky, then bring your left knee to your nose and push back. Use your core to step left foot in between the hands. Adjust the front foot if you need to. Once you have your foundation, come into your twist. Right hand to the ground, left hand to the hip or towards the sky. Once you're stable, your next inhale brings you up to your twisted high lunge. Left hand back, right hand forward. Then flip and reverse. Left hand down, right hand reaches up and back. And then rotate your right hand behind you, left hand forward, warrior two. Anchor the back foot down at 90 degrees. Come down a little deeper into the front knee, then flip and reverse your warrior. Left hand towards the sky, right hand trails the back leg. Can you engage your core and your side body to make your right hand weightless on the back leg? Windmill your arms to the ground for an optional vinyasa flow. Ramp it up if you'd like to. Back it off if you need to. Please listen to your body and your breath. Now from your downward facing dog, as you inhale, right leg towards the sky. And bring your right knee to your nose, hug it in. Push back, three-legged dog. Step the right foot in between your hands, runner's lunge. Then we twist, right hand to the hip or towards the sky. Once you're stable, inhale brings you up to your twisted lunge. Then flip and reverse, left hand to the sky, right hand trails. Rotate the left arm behind you, open out into warrior two. Deep bend through the front knee. Flip and reverse your warrior. Trikonasana, straighten through the front leg, reach forward, come into your triangle pose. Right hand down, left hand to the sky. So maybe your right hand is on the ground. Maybe it's on your ankle, your shin, your knee, wherever it needs to be to allow your left shoulder to stack on top of your right, to open out through your hips. So we don't want to drop the chest forward and pike through the hips. So really start to open out here. Next, inhale brings you back to warrior two, deep bend through the right knee. And then windmill your arms to the ground for an optional vinyasa flow. Lift a leg if you'd like to, drop the knees if you need to, or rest and rejoin when you're ready. From your downward facing dog, as you inhale, left leg towards the sky. Bring your left knee to your nose, shift the weight into the hands. Push back, three-legged dog. Left foot silently in between the hands. Use your core, runner's lunge. Then we twist, right hand to the ground, left hand to the hip or towards the sky. Next, inhale, rise up, keep the twist. Right hand forward, left hand back. Flip and reverse, right hand reaches up, left hand trails the back leg. Keep rotating right hand behind you, warrior two, open out, gazes forward. Keep the deep bend through your front knee, flip and reverse your warrior. Right hand is light, left hand reaches up and over. Come back through center, straighten through the front leg, reach forward, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Keep your hips open, keep stacking right shoulder on top of left as you extend your right hand straight up towards the sky. So even in these poses, we're never locking our knees out. So engage your quadriceps, lift your kneecaps, find stability around your knees. Next, inhale brings you back to warrior two, deep bend through the left knee. Then windmill your arms to the ground for your optional vinyasa flow. Choose your variation. Inhale into one movement, exhale into the next. Come up onto the balls of the feet, bend the knees, step or float the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale to fold. Inhale, come all the way to stand, palms touch, mini back bend if it feels good, and bring your hands to heart center. Take a moment. We're going to start to move through that sequence with our breath. Just focusing on finding a fluid movement, motions. So imagine that you are connecting with the element of water, flowing freely, connecting movement with breath. Your next inhale, reach your hands towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale to swan dive forward. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, step or float your feet back for your optional flow. Elbows graze the rib cage. Inhale into your back bend of choice. And exhale, downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg towards the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Push back, three-legged dog. Right foot in between the hands. Twist. Right hand to the sky. Inhale, rise up, keep the twist. Exhale, flip and reverse. Open out into your warrior two. Plant the back heel down. Inhale, flip and reverse. Exhale, Trikonasana, triangle pose. Option to pause here or have a play with half moon by bringing your left hand to your left hip, bend deeply through your right knee, right fingertips to the ground, float the left leg. Flex your left toes back towards you, energy out through the left heel. Maybe your chest is facing down towards the earth today. Maybe you have enough balance to open out towards the side of your room. And if everything stacks, maybe left hand towards the sky. Now with control, big step back to warrior two. Arms extended, gazes forward. Bring your hands to the ground for an optional vinyasa flow. Bend through the elbows to 90 degrees. Inhale into your back bend of choice. And exhale, meeting back in downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg to the sky. Exhale, knee to nose. Push back, three-legged dog. Left foot in between the hands. Twist. Next, inhale, rise up, keep the twist. Exhale to flip and reverse. Open out into your warrior two, plant the back heel down. Next, inhale, flip and reverse. Moving into Trikonasana, triangle pose. Beautiful. You can pause here or half moon. Right hand to hip, deep bend through the left knee, left fingertips to the ground, floating the right leg. Flex the right toes back towards you. Maybe you can stack your right hip on top of left. Maybe right shoulder on top of left. Coming into a mirror image on this side. Finding your balance, that sweet spot. Now with control, can you lightly step back into your warrior two? Beautiful. Deep bend through the front knee. Windmill your arms to the ground for an optional vinyasa flow. Listen to your body, listen to your breath. Find your rhythm. Now you have 5 breaths. You can explore down dog, child's pose, or even dolphin if you would like to come down onto the elbows so your forearms are down on the mat. Your choice. Then we'll all meet in downward facing dog. Coming up onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees, step or float the feet up to meet the hands. Inhale to lift halfway. Exhale to fold forward. Inhale, come all the way to stand, palms touch. And bring your hands to heart center. Pause here. Observing your breath, your heartbeat. In your next inhale, hands towards the sky, palms touch. Exhale to swan dive forward. Inhale to lift and lengthen. Exhale, step or float the feet back. Optional flow or down dog is your friend. If you're taking your flow, make sure your shoulders come forward before bending your elbows so that your forearms stay vertical as you come into your chaturanga. And from your downward facing dog, as you inhale, right leg towards the sky. And bring your right knee to your nose, hug it in. Push back, three-legged dog. Right foot in between the hands. We're coming up into warrior one. So spin the back heel down at around 45 degrees as you bring your hands up towards the sky. Palms facing each other. Fingertips are active. Square the hips and shoulders. Now keep your legs where they are. Rotate your arms behind you. Interlace the hands. Squeeze your shoulder blades. Inhale to look up towards the sky. Exhale, humble warrior. Either draping your chest over the right knee, or you can start to bring your right shoulder on the inside of that knee. Make sure you're not straining your neck. Keep the head and neck in line with the rest of the spine. So you're finding stability through your lower body. You're finding freedom through your shoulders and your heart space. Now keep the bind through the hands as you bring your chest back up. Now lift the back heel, take a deep bend through the back knee as you pounce and float into a balance. So this is a version of Virabhadrasana 3, so your warrior 3, but keeping the interlace of the hands. Now can you start to shine your heart forward? So think upward facing dog with your upper body. Find your balance, square your hips, energy out through the back heel. Now with control, can you unravel to crescent lunge? So big step back, keep the back heel lifted, sweep your arms towards the sky. Come down a little deeper into the front knee. Then bend your elbows out to the side, cactus through the arms and shine the heart towards the sky. Come back through center, hinge forward into arrowhead. Beautiful. Inhale, rise up. Crescent lunge, hands through heart center to the ground. Optional flow, lift a leg if you'd like to, drop the knees if you need to. Elbows graze the rib cage. Next, inhale, left leg towards the sky. And bring your left knee to your nose, hug it in tight. Push back into three-legged dog. Now bring your left foot in between the hands. Rise up into your warrior one. Spin the back heel down. Sweep your hands towards the sky, palms facing each other. Rotate your arms behind you. Interlace the hands. Squeeze your shoulder blades towards each other. Inhale to look up. Exhale to fold forward. Humble warrior. Find your body positioning that builds the foundation through your lower body, creates freedom through your upper body. Now keeping the bind through the hands, bringing your chest back up on your inhale. Lift the back heel, take a deep bend through the back knee. Can you pounce and float the back leg and come into a standing balance? So you're trying to look like a capital letter T from the side. Keep the bind through the hands and then start to lift your gaze in your chest so that you're coming into more of an upper body that resembles your upward facing dog. Now with control, can you unravel to your crescent lunge? So the back heel is lifted as you come into your high lunge. Then bend the elbows out to the side, cactus through the arms, shine the heart. If it's safe for your neck, look up towards the sky. Come back through crescent lunge, hinge forward, arrowhead. Inhale, rise up into your crescent lunge. Hands through heart center, down onto the ground. Optional vinyasa flow is there if you'd like to take it. Now from your downward facing dog, as you inhale, right leg towards the sky. And bring your right knee to your nose, hug it in nice and tight. Push back into three-legged dog. Right knee to right elbow, hold. Push back, three-legged dog. Right knee to left elbow, extend that leg out to fall and triangle. So leave your right hand down as you peel your left hand towards the sky. Both legs are straight, perhaps spinning the heart space towards the sky. Then bring your left hand back down. Start to lift your right leg towards the sky. And then start to bring your open up through your right hip, bend through your right knee, look under your armpit as the foot comes up and over to the side. You have the option of staying here, or if it feels good, you can start to flip your dog or come into wild thing by keeping the left leg straight. So either both knees bent if that feels good, or if wild thing is a better position for you, you're more than welcome to move into that. Lift the hips towards the sky, left shoulder is strong, and then your right hand will guide you back over. Square your hips, extend the right leg towards the sky. Now bring your right foot in between the hands. You're going to rise back up into your warrior one. So hands towards the sky. Rotate your arms behind you, interlace the hands, squeeze the shoulder blades. Inhale to lift up, exhale, humble warrior. Take a deep breath in, stay for the exhale. Inhale to come back up, lift the back heel, keep the bind through the hands, deep bend, float the back leg, come into your balance. Big step back, unravel into your crescent lunge, hands to the sky. Open up through the chest, bend the elbows out to the side. Inhale back through your crescent lunge, hinge forward, arrowhead. Inhale, rise up, crescent lunge, hands to the ground, optional vinyasa flow. Down dog is your friend if you need to rest, or of course, child's pose. From your downward facing dog, as you inhale, left leg towards the sky. Bring your left knee to your nose, hug it in. Push back, three-legged dog. Left knee to left elbow, touch. Push back. Left knee to right elbow, fallen star. Extend that leg out. Outside edge of your foot comes to the ground as you peel your right arm towards the sky. Energize through your right fingertips. Left shoulder is strong. Right hand comes back down, push back into three-legged dog. Open up through your hips, stack left hip on top of right. You can pause here. You can keep the right leg straight or bent as you either flip your dog or come into wild thing. So choose a variation that feels good in your body to find that extension, openness. Keep your right shoulder stable. Then your left hand will guide you back over as you extend your left leg towards the sky. Then step it through in between your hands. Rise up into your warrior one, hands to the sky. Then rotate your arms behind you, interlace the hands. Squeeze the shoulder blades, shine the heart, hinge forward, humble warrior. Stay for an inhale. Exhale. Next inhale, keep the bind as you rise back up. Lift the back heel, bend through the back knee, pounce and float, come into your balance. And then with control, unravel into your crescent lunge, hands to the sky. Bend the elbows out to the side, shine the heart, look up towards the sky. Come back through crescent lunge to your arrowhead, energy from the crown of the head to the back heel. Inhale, lift up, crescent lunge. Hands through heart center, down onto the ground, optional vinyasa flow. Listen to your body and your breath, find your rhythm. Beautiful. Then in your downward facing dog, you have 5 breaths. Choose dolphin with your elbows down dog with the elbows lifted, or child's pose to rest and relax for those 5 breaths. And slowly coming back to your downward facing dog. You're coming onto the balls of your feet, bend your knees. You're going to step or float the feet forward into Malasana, your deep yogi squat. So feet are out nice and wide. They're either parallel or turned outwards slightly. If you can, anchor the heels and bring your hands to heart center. If that's not available, of course, hands can be on the ground and heels can be lifted. Roll your shoulders down and back, so you're broadening through the heart space, lifting up through the crown of the head, anchoring through the tailbone. Now, if crow is part of your practice and you'd like to come into your arm balance, you're bringing your hands to the ground, hips to the sky. Look forward so you don't tumble forward. Engage through your core to make your legs lighter, balancing your knees on your tricep at the back of your arm. Maybe you're rocking forward and lifting one foot up and rocking back. Rocking forward, lifting the other foot and coming back. If you're in your balance, trying to touch your big toes behind you. And then we'll all meet back in our Malasana, our deep yogi squat. Take a moment here. Can you use the leverage of your elbows on the inside of the knees to draw your kneecaps in line with your toes? Then bring your hands to the ground and your hips to the sky. You can leave your feet wide and just come into a forward fold. Maybe you'd like to interlace your hands behind you to open out through the chest and shoulders again. Otherwise, any arm position that feels good for you. Of course, any issues with your lower back or your hamstrings, please just bend your knees. Head is heavy. And bringing your hands back to the ground, release back down into your Malasana for another round. Now we spend so much of our day sitting, whether we're in a car, at a desk, on the couch. So this is your chance to open out a little more around the pelvis. Release those muscles that potentially could be quite stagnant for the rest of the day. Just taking a few moments here. If you're craving another arm balance, please feel free to come back into crow for a few moments, that's fine. Otherwise, I encourage you to just pause in your Malasana. It's a pose that comes quite naturally to some people and quite challenging for others. And it's not just your hips or your inner thighs, but it's also the positioning and the mobility through your knees and your ankles. So if it is quite a challenging pose, I encourage you to find a position that is sustainable, but still allows you to potentially work through some tightness in those areas of the body that tend to be restricting you. Bring your hands to the ground. This time, step back into your high plank. And just holding our high plank together, knees on or off the ground for a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Beautiful. One more of those. Inhale. Come forward into high plank, holding for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Downward facing dog. Inhale, right leg towards the sky. Coming through for half pigeon prep, so bring your right knee behind your right wrist. And we're staying upright to start with. Now those muscles that I was speaking about, they get quite tight when we sit too long. In particular, that's our hip flexor. So the muscle at the front of your left hip that will be feeling like you are stretching it right now by staying upright. So just find a position that allows you to stay here for a few more breaths. So your right knee is over towards your right wrist, and the positioning of your right foot really does depend on the mobility that your body is giving you today. Back leg strong and straight behind you. Now, if you're feeling particularly tight through the hip flexor, then you're welcome to stay here longer. Otherwise, start to hinge forward, coming down onto the elbows, or extending your arms out in front. Now observing how the sensation has shifted to the back of your right hip. So with each exhale, can you let go of some of that tension? One more breath here. And start to walk your hands back onto the mat. If you can, press back into down dog without sliding the right foot. Can you lift it up and step back? Optional flow is there if you'd like a little more juice. Otherwise, pause in your down dog and just straighten out through the right leg, maybe pedal the feet. And then from down dog, as you inhale, left leg towards the sky, and bring your left knee behind your left wrist, preparing for the other side, staying nice and upright. So square your hips so that your back leg is parallel with the side edge of your mat. Maybe your hands are in front, maybe they're next to your hips or even slightly behind you, to find that beautiful downwards pressure into the front of your right hip now. Perhaps closing the eyes down for a moment. You're welcome to stay here a little longer, otherwise start to hinge forward. Breathing into the sensation through the outside of your left hip. Connecting with your exhale. And take one more breath here. And then this time, instead of pushing back, just roll over your left hip and come down onto your back. Extending your legs long. And then we're going to return to an inversion here. And you get to choose your own adventure. So the two that we did at the start of class, so the version of Viparita Karani with your legs straight up towards the sky is an option, and so is Happy Baby for a restorative variation. If shoulder stand is part of your practice and your neck is feeling healthy today, then you're welcome to come into shoulder stand. If you're not sure, I'd rather you watch Shana first. So your knees will come in towards your chest, and then you'll extend your legs towards the sky and glue your feet together, stacking your ankles over your hips, over your shoulders, and your head and your neck stay still. They're in a lock and we need to protect them. So as soon as your hips leave the ground, please don't move your head and your neck. Come into your inversion. And if shoulder stand feels great, amazing, pause there. If you do want to explore your halasana plow, then you're welcome to as well. But once again, just tuning in to our body, allowing the blood to flow back down towards our vital organs, giving our circulation a little kickstart. Whichever inversion you have chosen today, you have 5 more breaths here. And at the end of that 5th breath, we're all going to gently unravel into a mini shavasana. So take your time, no matter where you're coming from, make sure that you're supporting your body and releasing with control. Then extending your arms and your legs long. Now, especially if you've come out of shoulder stand, that deep flexion through your neck. Now just allowing everything to settle back down into a neutral alignment. Then gently start to bring your right knee in towards your chest. Give it a little squeeze. And coming into a spine twist by leaving your left hand on the knee, right hand to the side. Guide the knee across your body into your spine twist. Starting to close your eyes down. And keeping the eyes closed, starting to come back through center. Extend your right leg long and bring your left knee in towards you. Giving it a squeeze. And keeping your right hand on the knee, left hand to the side, guiding the knee across your body into your spine twist. And slowly coming back through center, bring both knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a big squeeze, maybe a little rock from side to side, any last movements that your body needs before opening out into final Shavasana, your treat at the end of class to allow the benefits of your practice to sink into your body. Eyes gently closed as you really start to soften. Allow your back body to be heavy against the earth. Allow yourself to be completely supported. Bringing your awareness back to your breath. Feeling the belly rise and fall with your breath cycle. Now, as you start to set yourself up for the rest of your day, perhaps now turning your Shavasana into your mini meditation, or bringing an intention, a sankalpa, perhaps a mantra, as you connect with your breath cycle. What is it that you need to focus on today? Now you're more than welcome to stay in your Shavasana for as long as you need to today. Maybe 5 to 10 more breaths. But if you are ready to seal your practice, start to bring some gentle movement into your fingertips and your toes. And then bend your knees and roll over onto one side. And keeping your eyes closed, make your way up to a seated position with your hands at heart center. Taking a moment to return to your breath. Remembering that it's a powerful tool that you carry through the rest of your day with you. A few deep breaths really can change your perspective. Then coming back to your sankalpa, your intention. And allowing that sankalpa to guide you through the rest of your day. Gently bowing your heads to seal your practice. Together we say Namaste.